First of all, there is no perfect man. Looking for that is worse than starting the race badly. It means that you are in the wrong race. What a woman should be searching for is their ideal man. And that is the man whose values, beliefs and outlook in life synergize with their own. This was a popular quote by Matthew Hussey. While Matthew Hussey used the word synergy, I will be using the word compatibility. Finding the right one for you has more to do with the kind of man you are comfortable with, his personality. And the kind of personality a wise woman will go for involves being honest, being humble, being willing to face criticism with an open mind, and above all else, believing in the natural imperfections of every normal human being and admitting to being wrong when wrong, and most importantly, atoning. Atonement means that if you were not perfect, you can try and never repeat the same mistake over and over again. A woman will never leave a man who is willing to make amends, except perhaps she has already made up her mind to leave the man no matter what. The Holy Scripture says in the book of Amos, chapter 3 verse 3, that can two walk together unless they agree? That is the major reason why people break up or make up. They make up when there is an agreement between them, and they break up when there is a disagreement between them. While disagreement can either lead to resolution or dissolution, non-violence amid the disagreement is one thing that both sides should always yearn for and desire. A God-fearing man is an ideal man for every serious-minded woman out there. Loyalty and honesty are attributes that a woman will never reject because it brings her that inner peace and the confidence that she needs in her relationship. There is a false talk that talks about love, friendship, and relationship. There is a part of it where the man says, don't go for looks, they can deceive. Don't go for wealth because even that fades away. Go for someone who makes you smile because it takes only a smile to make a dark day seem bright. However, more often than not, people get into relationships with other motives. Some for money, some for connections, so that they can be respected or be a force to be reckoned with. Some for some very outrageous reasons entirely, such as I am with him because he's handsome, or I am with him because my family wants me to. Or even more absurd reasons like, I want my friends and family to know and understand that I can also get a man. But at the end of the day, it's your life to live. It's your life to enjoy and your life to endure. You are under no obligation to go into a relationship because of anyone else apart from your very own self. As such, it is important to understand that you are the only one who is going to be with this person forever should it lead to marriage. Failure to stick together forever is the reason for some divorces around the world today. And when this happens, if there is already a child or children in the union, those innocent children are going to be the ones to suffer the hurt. And it's also important to understand that your laughter or your smile or your little pranks between each other depends on you. So having someone you can always look forward to seeing them return from a very busy day and rushing either into their arms or approaching him with a smile on your face to ask him how his day went, discussing each other's day, talking about the serious events of the day as well as the hilarious ones, will go a long way to relieve the day's residual stress and probably fatigue. There are men who have their wife's picture with them wherever they go, and no matter how stressful their work is, they will take a peep at the picture with them, and sometimes a smile will subconsciously crawl out of their face, and they will brighten up and look forward to seeing their significant other, embracing her, and be happy to be back home. This is the kind of life I found my next door neighbors living. They are a very new and young couple. The love between these two is pretty obvious as they hardly ever spend the day without teasing each other. Misunderstandings naturally happen once in a while. Yes, they do have misunderstandings, but it never lasts between them, as they will both be so uncomfortable with the cold treatment given to each other, and one of them will end up looking for a way to get the other person's attention, which is obviously what the other person wants, so as to grab the opportunity and make up, and then the problem is resolved. Perfection is something that no normal human being can ever attain, but a man trying his every best to keep his woman or his family happy is an ideal man. A woman who appreciates the effort of a man, who is always looking out for her happiness, will never leave him. A woman will never leave a man who sees the beauty within her and tries to bring it forth. Take for instance a woman who has a dream and the determination of becoming a renowned pediatrician, but doesn't have the raw materials, maybe the financial preparation or support. With a good man by her side in all aspects, such as financial, mental, emotional, psychological, she will definitely achieve the dream of her becoming a pediatrician. Nothing gives a human being more contentment and that inner peace like the genuine support coming from someone that holds a special place in their heart. Although there are women out there who would definitely think negatively of a man who wants to help bring out the best in them, and sometimes end up repaying good with evil and ingratitude. A wise woman would never leave such a man who always wants to see her become her best. That's why mutual friendship and open communication are very vital in relationship. Absence or deficiency in open communication leads to unnecessary misunderstandings and misconceptions, which will start like a tiny leakage, which if unattended to, can continue to spread and escalate to an irreparable damage. Sadly enough, things get this bad when either party lacks humility. Where there is no humility, then expect pride to be present, and where there is pride, expect haughtiness. Apologizing naturally becomes a scarce commodity. With our imperfections as humans, we ought to understand that saying sorry is like soothing balm to a hot person. Humility is one thing adults have that subtly and indirectly gives an affinity with children. Children value friendship above everything else. That's why they easily say sorry to each other and continue their friendship where they have stopped. I have a very good neighbor who doesn't know how to seriously say the word sorry. But the good thing about him is the fact that he always avoids anything that will possibly bring him to the world. I honestly don't know what is so embarrassing about saying sorry, but that's exactly how this young man feels when it comes to this issue. Nothing less. He's happily married to a woman who really understands him, and he understands his wife even better. Before getting to this level, there was a time they had a misunderstanding which resulted in the woman getting so upset, thereby losing her control and slapping him so hard across the face. He was extremely shocked. He stood rooted to the spot for some time, absorbed the shock, asked her if she really dated to slap him or it was a mistake. She bluntly and stubbornly told him it wasn't a mistake but intentional. Perhaps she wanted to know his limit, but she ended up regretting it, because after admitting that it was an intentional insolence, he quietly went to his clothes closet, picked up a polo top, wore it, picked up his car keys, and left the house quietly. She ended up being the one to lose her mind that night because he went out drinking with his friends to cool off. She tried reaching him to scold about leaving the house. He ignored her call. Then she sent a text. After waiting for some minutes, she called again. Still, he didn't pick up the phone. She changed her mind and tried apologizing for daring to raise her hand on him. He ignored her. She sent a text begging him to come back home, and she promised never to raise her hand on him no matter what again. After some minutes, she called again. And this time he picked up the phone and told her to go to sleep, that he would be home by dawn, and that was it. She was crying and begging him to come home or she would never forgive herself. For her sake, he returned home around 3 p.m. Being close to them, if my memory serves me right, I think that was the worst misunderstanding I have ever had in my life. With my knowledge of this couple, I understood that to the wife, her husband is the best husband in the world, even though he's not perfect, because she found in him what she could ever ask for in a man, and according to her, she can never exchange him for anyone else in the world. No woman in her sane mind will ever voluntarily leave a man this good. Note that I choose the word good and not the word perfect, because no one is perfect. Perfection is unattainable, but a good man is worth being appreciated and guided. You don't necessarily need to lose a good person before realizing the person is good. I hope every good woman out there is blessed with a discerning spirit to recognize her Mr. Right and never let go but appreciate him wholeheartedly. God bless you.